Welcome to the Live Full, Work Fun podcast. This is the show to encourage you to live your life to the fullest and do fun work that fuels your lifestyle. Hi, I'm your host, Gayla Scrivener. Every week, you'll be introduced to amazing guests, useful resources, and inspirational stories. You'll discover opportunities and perspectives to shape your version of living full and working fun. Well, hi there and welcome. This is the show where we explore topics that help you create your lifestyle to live full and work fun. I'm Gayla Scrivener, joined by my co-host, Fran Grosbeck. Hey, Fran.
Hey, Gayla.
We're going to dive in, and I know we've done this before, but we're going to dive into social media because that's just a big deal when it comes to businesses. I feel like that a lot of small business owners focus on social media and kind of stress about its importance and maybe have a different vision of expectations than what's really out there. We do a lot of organic social media in our businesses for our clients, for ourselves. We do some paid, but today we're going to be talking about organic social. And I'm going to have you speak to a little bit what is organic and why is it important?
So organic is exactly what it sounds like. It's you. It's the real you, right? Organic, no chemicals, no pesticides, no paid ads. It's the real you of your business. This is where you're not spending money to boost. There's no paid behind it. It's like inorganic versus organic. This is true, 100% your words, your voice, the message you want to send, and trying to grow your audience through organic channels, shares, likes, tags, have friends share your message, follow you, have family and friends share your profile, share your messages, share them on your stories, try different hashtags and profile tags to increase your audience. You're doing it in organic means versus them paying money to tag onto some keywords or target a certain audience. So organic is really about growing through personal channels. And while paid and organic both have their place, I am a big lover and believer of organic because those people, they're the real deal. They want to follow you. They choose to follow you. They choose to be part of your post. Whereas paid, it can be, you could just end up with a long list of people, but not actually connect with the right ones.
Can be kind of artificial. It gets in front of the people's eyes that don't necessarily want to get to know, like, and trust you. But there is an importance of having that net be spread even further through paid channels. But today, let's talk about organic. And I wanted to add to that not only digitally, but when we're networking with other business owners or just talking with someone, they say, what do you do? And you talk about that. There is no harm in saying, hey, you can follow me on here. And that's part of organic channels is those connections, face-to-face connections, and friends and family would refer you and things like that. So it's not just digital. I know that some folks seem to forget that we need to ask to follow on social. I mean, why do you see banks and like all business, you see the little logos, follow us on social, because that's a reminder to do that. And we need to do more of that, right? And so that's part of organic. And I don't know about you and you who are listening, do you stress about your social media? Are you reaching enough people? You don't have a very big audience. You don't post very often because nobody even pays attention. I mean, my philosophy is in organic reach, you need a plan to post consistently. And then as you have that plan and you fulfill that plan to fill the consistency spot, then you're able to have a little bit more analytics with it or more intention with some of your posts. What do you think about that approach, Fran? What do you really think of what you're supposed to, or do you think first, how often should I?
My so where we are now and where I was are two different places. Where I first started was let me set a realistic goal for myself. And 2 times a week was realistic for me. So that was because I needed, as a solopreneur, to see where could I. And 2 times a week is about 8 posts a month, and that sounded realistic to me.
I think
That
that's fantastic.
that was
Yeah.
very comfortable for me, and so that's where I started. Now, as we do 3 times a week, and I split this up, and this is I know in our discussion today, but I know the posts that I want to be directly involved with. And I take care of those myself. I do what we internally call our 10 Touch Tuesdays. And those are messages from me. Those are messages about why we do what we do and things I want business owners to remember or to help them that week. I have my team do the rest, but frequency was my first step. And then setting an intention to, I love the word that you used, intention. I said, okay, I just have to make 2 posts a week. I wasn't even thinking about the 8 for the month. So that Friday, and it's always Fridays for me, I'm my most creative in the mornings and on Fridays. So each Friday, all I had to do was pick 2 pictures and write 2 messages. And that felt very realistic for me. What's funny is, Gayla, we do this for other people, no problem. I could write a quarter. I could write 3 months of messages for someone else. For myself, I was doing exactly this topic. I was overthinking it. But it's funny when I chunked it down, all of a sudden, within a few Fridays, I'm like, oh, I could write a couple of weeks. I'll write 6 now. And all of a sudden I was writing a quarter of Tuesdays for myself. We always talk about that term, chunking it down. And I just looked for what was that first step I felt comfortable with taking. So whenever I have this, for me, it's this, I always point to my chest. There's like this inner twinge. If I know I'm pushing myself too far, as soon as I think of something and I know that feels comfortable, I can start there. That's my step to build on. So that idea of setting an intention, but making sure that it really resonates and you're not trying to do something, you actually feel comfortable about doing it, I think is a great first step, not just for social, but a lot of things, but especially for social, where we can take ourselves down some windy rabbit holes.
Well, do you have any experience with any small business owners that you talk with that may have a different expectation of what social media should be doing for their business than what the reality of really what it is?
It's probably the biggest challenge out of the pillars of marketing we work on, because the biggest challenge when we get into social plans, there's actually, I'd say there's a handful. There's not a full understanding of what it takes to build out social posts. So if they want you to do it for them and you quote a price, sometimes they have this like sticker shock effect. The other is this thinking that just because I'm on social, people know I'm there. And why don't I have X number of followers within the first few weeks or months of being on social? And then if that really is their goal, to increase number of followers, and they do some kind of paid campaign, when that paid campaign doesn't turn exactly into sales dollars, they are seeing an increase in their followers or even their likes, but they're not seeing that translated into dollars. They get confused. And I don't think that the place of social in what we describe as the 4 pillars is really understood. There's this unrealistic expectation that it's this magic wand that once you're on social, the people will come and the business will come. And that's not how it works. It takes real, it is a micro touch, and it is a place that requires patience, persistence, momentum to really take effect.
Absolutely. I have similar experiences. And out there, there are so many social media experts, and there's so many social media businesses and great influencers out there that has an expertise in social media. They've had some, and so they've got tips and everything out there. But I think when I listen to those things, because I'm in the business, and you have this content marketing channels that you learn all these tips, maybe something will pop out and you want to try. And we at Scrivener Solutions, we experiment with a lot of things, because social media, just the whole nature of it. I mean, you hear all the time, oh my gosh, they changed the algorithms. Now my business is ruined and blah, 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 blah. That's it. It's just the nature of the whole thing that we have to be fluid. And if you're going to be organic and real with your folks that follow you, social media should not make or break your business. It is a complement to get the word out. And you said it, it's a micro message. But with all of these tips out there, and we're doing some tips, there seems to be some pressure of like, am I doing it right? And I'm doing this. And okay, I know I need to do social media, but and they just stop. They get the, I like to say, they're letting the start stop them. And so you don't want to let the start stop you. You just need to take that first step and go for consistency. Other things come later. But I was speaking with someone that I network with, and she's got a great brick and mortar business, and she works with kids and moms, and she's got a perfect opportunity to have a channel in TikTok. I think that's great. And we were talking, and I could tell that she was just very intense. It's like, okay, I know I need videos, and I know that I want to get the right videos, and I don't really know about TikTok and how often and what videos should I share. And she just kept going on, and I was just like, girl, you're thinking about it too much. Just post your first video. That's all you need to do. And upon further, talking, I'm going to be talking with her some more, but she really is not a video person. She's like, we're goofy around, our business, and I'd like to have that shown through. And I said, you've got moms that, are paying for their kids to, do their thing. And she's like, yeah. And it's like, you've got great opportunity here, because I bet you one of those moms is really into TikTok, right? And so you can be creative and hire your own intern, or give a scholarship in this case, maybe in exchange for, hey, would you follow us around and see our goofy ways and do some videos? So she doesn't have to do it herself. She can delegate some of the pieces out. And what if that person could create those fun TikTok videos, music in the background, however it is, and they're having fun, and the business is moving forward. And I believe that social media should be fun. So if it's heavy for you, if social media is just not your thing, there are people that can help it be, your thing as a business, to get that, because they're your biggest cheerleaders, right? And in that example, I believe that she, within her ecosphere, has somebody that's a big cheerleader that would be happy and would find it fun to do videos about that business and get it out on TikTok, and they would have a good relationship. And it's organic, right? And just getting started doing that, then what works for your business. What kind of videos resonate? You don't know what resonates with your audience until you start posting.
Until you try.
Right?
Right. And I love what your suggestion about hiring someone. So last summer, I'm a big believer in summer interns and supporting local colleges. We have a wonderful school here in New Jersey that has a wonderful graphics and fine arts program, and the graphic designers are fantastic. So last summer, knowing that I was heading into this new beginning, I hired a summer intern. We took all of my social posts up until that I had done the first 4 years of my business. I took out ones that no longer meant anything to me. I had her rework the copy to just update it to current time if any text. We used to use bullets. I didn't like bullets anymore, so we fixed that. And I said, create a series of images that look like a continued story. And she built me out a library of 150 posts over the summer that I could use at any time. They were all posts I had done before over 4 years. She just repurposed them. And that's a great way to keep social simple. Just because you used a post once before doesn't mean you can't use it again. Because the people, remember, just think your own self when you scroll, how fast you go past these images. You could reuse a post just from months ago, but we took 4 years of content and created this little library that we could even still pull from, even in the new branding and the new beginning we're starting. We kept ones that reflected where we're headed now as well. So both the finding some temporary help, it doesn't have to be permanent unless you have someone on your staff that if you have someone on your staff, I'll give you one other side of the coin. It really gets them into your branding and your message and the goals and you can see the excitement form. The person currently who handles my social media, who does the other two posts a week, is getting really into and excited and creating. Yesterday showed me posts for this next, where June is the next step in elevating the message, and absolutely blew me away in what she was able to put together. And the excitement that I see in her is helping me realize that this new message is a good one. So whether it's that temporary person who could just help you get a bunch of content together, especially if it's content, like you said, like videos that you're uncomfortable with, bringing in one of your team members to give them some motivation and mojo. There's a lot of different ways that you can really simplify this daunting or seeming, it's not daunting, or, but this seemingly daunting task can be simplified.
I think that we all as business owners need to remember that we can't do it all. And there's going to be certain things that you should delegate. And I think that social media is a great thing to help delegate, to free your mind and your time. Now, when you delegate your social media management, that is an investment, but that brings people into the team to get your messaging out, and it helps you get clarification. And really, what I think that, or at least those small businesses that I've encountered, is when we do social media management, we do what's called baseline posts. So we have a calendar, and this is what I teach as well for solopreneurs that want to do their own. I want to streamline their work processes. So I teach what we do. We pick a consistency. We have, like you have your 10 touch Tuesdays, right? And so that's Tuesday. You know what kind of post you want on a Tuesday. So we create like a calendar of what kind of content, and we have these baseline posts. But that does not mean that if you delegate your social media management, that you as a business owner should just be all hands off on your own social media. Like Fran, you had a perfect example. You've got some of your posts that are delegated, but you want to own your 10 touch Tuesdays because it challenges you to make sure that, hey, what is on your head and on your heart that you want to say, and it's truly you. But that also stimulates the brand messaging, and it helps give you clarity. So some of our clients, like if they go to an event, that's when they do ad hoc posts. That's what I call them, just ad hoc posts. Don't worry about when all these baseline things. That's when you're thinking about it too much, right? When you're thinking, okay, if this is Motivation Monday, I shouldn't post because I've already got a post. What? So there are folks that are thinking about it too much, and social although there is strategy to it, it changes on a dime. So just go with the flow and just let your heart and head, this is what I want to post. And this is what's on my heart and head. Now I'm going to say, I personally am not real verbal in political and religious beliefs, but that's me. And that's what I want to keep those things to myself and not on social. But there may be some things that I want to comment about, and that is okay, right?
I think this leads into Gayla too. So there's the what you follow in life, rules and regulations and right and wrong. That's the standards, right? What's politically correct, what is hate speech, all that stuff. There is true right and wrong. But when you are writing on social about your business, be your authentic self. There is no right or wrong in that case. If you live a certain way and that's how you are going to speak on social, the one thing you have to be aware of is there are different consequences. So what I like to say is on social, there isn't necessarily right or wrong, but there's just different choices with different consequences. So if you are going to share, on my side, I don't share anything politically or religious or spiritual because I don't want to engage. It's not that I don't want to share what I feel or what I believe. I don't want to engage the negative people who could come at me. It's not necessary because it's not a healthy conversation. I focus on the business aspect of it and staying. My whole goal is to help business owners find that positive mindset to keep towards growth, right? And so when I reread my posts, and it's funny, when I go in to do a 10 Touch Tuesday post, I create the picture first because I'm a visual person. I know what I want to say, create the picture, then I write the caption. When I write the caption, I will read through it once and I'll edit only once to say, no, I want to keep this more general. It's going too far. But that's it. After that first read, I hit schedule. I don't send it to someone else for approvals. These are my words. So one other thing about the business owner being involved to some degree is I love the saying, Katie Morgan recently said this to me. She's from a company called The Grief Ritual. You are the expert of you. That applies to everything. And as business owners, we are the experts of our business. We could have all the strategic plans, goals, outlines, project management systems written, all these things. We are the experts of that message. So we should put our voice on social. But yeah, just that's my only caution is only put on social what you're willing to have commented on.
Well, and I think that there's some fear out there. I mean, of sharing and putting yourself out there, not only on social, but doing your authority piece, just speaking your mind, trying to help people. The more exposure you get, expect supporters and haters.
Yes.
And and Sharon on our team, our social media manager, Scrivener Solutions, she's like, you've arrived if you've gotten a hater. So you're getting that exposure, and that's not a bad thing. It does kind of takes this wind out of your sails a little bit, but that's not a means to that you're not attracting the right customers for your business. And
focus on the supporters, not the haters. They're just part of the process.
Yeah. But organic reach is not an overnight success. Now, there's some people that you might think that, oh my gosh, I didn't see them yesterday, and today they're famous. They have been working at this from the very beginning, right? From their endeavors, and they've experimented. So I believe that you and I both believe that a solid marketing plan for any business includes a clear and concise website, an authority piece, email process, and social media process. So that social media takes who you are into the micro content, and you need to keep it light, right? If it becomes a burden to you, then something is wrong. If you feel it's a burden because it takes you too much time and mental calories to stay consistent, investing and delegating that is not a bad thing. And the results that you will find is not only in your social reach, but you'll be honing in your message even more. Because I know for our clients and for any social media management company out there, really, they will have their clients approve review and approve, and to get that feedback. And I would say that you need to not expect folks to be able to read your mind. Good feedback is important. But I also caution, I want to tell us a little story about a potential new client. We were just starting to work with them. And this gentleman was excruciatingly picky about all the images, excruciatingly. And when you're talking about social images that are a flip, right? Now, I understand that type of scrutiny for an ad image, but for an organic image, we did not, there was no need, and there was a misalignment, I guess, in creativity, but there was no need to spend hours on each image to make this spectacular image. The more, I know you need a good image, but the more you spend on that, it just doesn't work well. It's not very good time invested on an organic reach to have something. Now, a great way to streamline, like if you need it, like what you did with the intern, you had a whole slew of images. Well, you could also hire someone to create templates just for you for the whole year that you can reuse, change out words on it. And maybe you have like 10 templates that's your branded colors that has certain things. And there's certain ones that you use for quotes and certain ones that you use for inspiration. I don't know. But you can buy those branded templates and then get them refreshed. And if all you have to do is drop new images in there, stock images or your own images. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with just an image right out of your camera.
No, there's not. Yeah, we touched on this topic in another podcast, but have a nice, clean, simple content library to go to. It sounds like a big word. Sounds like a complicated process. I recommend listening to that podcast. We simplify it for you. Once you have it set up, you have your place to go. For both, we had tips on that podcast for both about where to keep your content ideas as well as your images. Gayla, when you said just now, you shared about not being able to read your mind, I also think of something else on the other end of the spectrum, and it has to do with me as on the project where we work together, where I'm your client. When we were first doing social together, and the amazing social person on your team showed me post, and I remember saying, because I'm a product person, oh no, that picture needs to be stainless steel cookware. And as I said the words, I go, how is she supposed to know what that is? And instantly on that call, and it became something that we do now, when there's something that they're not sure product, like you guys do 99% of the other posts. No worries. There's these questions of product because you guys can't read my mind. She'll come to me and go, is this the right product for this picture? And if it's not, instead of saying just no, I'll go find the right picture for her. Because I know in my head what that is, quickly saves time. That's where you find this balance of working with a team. I do agree with you so much on being, and I'm trying to think of the right word too, but it's like destructive procrastination or something, where that person is looking for every single pixel in that image to be right. If you think about how fast people scroll, that detail that they were harping on is never going to be seen.
No. And really, to delegate any social media management, that is an investment, but it brings people on your team to help grow your business, you know. And the very reason why I added or created Scrivener Social as a product under Scrivener Solutions is for the DIY entrepreneur, right? That we have a social scheduling program that helps streamline the process. But we also, what's huge in for this, it's not just a scheduling tool. It's basically a coaching program with a scheduling tool attached. When you have group coaching with other small businesses and you can just get the practical advice to get where you need to be, to know where you are now and where you need to be, and chunking your marketing down and being able to keep going, because marketing is an evolving and ongoing thing that does not stop. In order to bring business in and in order to have your business not be a roller coaster, your income be a roller coaster, to stabilize and to continue to bring business in at a steady rate, marketing is necessary. And if you're doing it yourself or you have a really small team, to have practical coaching to say, okay, this is getting too heavy. Let's lighten it up a little bit and let's be practical about it. Because I mean, for goodness sakes, this podcast is Live Full, Work Fun. I mean, work should be fun. And so if social media is weighing you down, how can it be lighter? And you may be somebody that loves social media. You'll never delegate it because it comes to you. But there are a lot of business owners that they just don't want their head right there in social media. But they know that it's got to be good for their business. It's a part of marketing that they're stressing about. I'm just saying, don't stress about it. Just do one little bit at a time.
I'll say, having been very lucky, I consider myself very lucky for being a beta tester of Scrivener Social. That program reignited my social. That program that you offer, and it's not just your talent and your insights and your social expertise. It was, and here I am, I do this for other clients. It was exactly what you just touched on. I wasn't alone. And all of a sudden, all the feelings of how am I going to tackle this whole new rebranding of 10 Touch, especially on social, having this partner, having this guide to remind me, because when you do it for yourself, it's totally different experience.
Isn't it though?
Isn't it, right? It changed the game for me. And all of a sudden I was motivated. I can remember coming off program calls and being like, oh, I'm going to do this today. And it really gave, and the tool itself does a couple of things that I personally love, which is the single inbox for all platforms. So I can go to one place to see all the comments. I don't have to go into each social media place. Because I am a numbers girl, I like the analytics page, which hashtags are working, which posts are getting the highest hits. And it's really funny because right now, since I stopped thinking and stopped overthinking, I've delegated. I've done all of the steps that I knew I needed to do, and many of them advised through Scrivener Social. My 10 Touch Tuesdays, the one I write myself, are my highest posts because I stopped overthinking. It's just me and my audience and what I want to say. And all that we discussed, I've implemented and I've seen the benefit. And it's just, I want to say thank you right here and now, because it was the time together in Scrivener Social.
Oh, thank you. Well, I just so believe that sometimes we're stressing about things. And I know when we hear a lot of tips of what we should do and what worked for somebody else and should I try it, and just taking it down a little bit and just doing what we can and just making it light, and just remember that it doesn't happen overnight. It just doesn't. And it's, what's your 3 words?
Patience, persistence, momentum.
Yep. And that is so, so true. Well, I would love to continue this conversation in Facebook. a social media platform. We have a Facebook group called, of all things, Live Full, Work Fun. It's a Facebook group. Just hop in there, join. It's a private group, and you can put your comments out there. It doesn't go to all of the world, just the small group of folks in the Live Full, Work Fun group. But I would love to hear from you if you overthink social. Do you just kind of stress about it, worry about it? And I would love to hear from you to see if there is some way to lighten your mindset surrounding social media. Because in the end, you should not let any one social media platform, don't have this mindset that a social media platform will make or break your business. It's, if you have that, because I had somebody that was locked out of their Facebook group and she thought her business was doomed. And it's like, you just have to adapt and don't let the social media gods beat you. You know, I don't mean to take it too lightly, because I think it is important, but I think we just need to have perspective that we need to expect change, and we need to expect that certain platforms may not be around forever, but we as business owners can be. We adapt and change. But do you have any last words, Miss Fran?
No, you know what I do? Just one reminder. Ending on this idea of organic social. I love where we started and how you talked about it's not just the digital. And remember, when you talk about any one of those four pillars, they're all interconnected. So make sure your social is promoted in your store. It's promoted on your vans. It's your salespeople talk about it. It's on your website. It's in your newsletter. It's in printed newsletters. It's in your ads. Put it everywhere. Just because you're on social doesn't mean people know you're there. So it's okay to promote yourself. And again, overthinking is not your friend. And just keep it simple, keep it light, and you got this.
Thanks, Fran. Well, thanks everyone for listening. And until next time, have a fantastic week. Live full, work fun.